I understand it is that a man can have as many women as he can take care of at the same level of standard. Okay. My uncle got, I ain't gonna say two wives. My Aunt Judy is his wife. And she got a house and Scallywag got a house. Well, Scallywag live in his house. And they ain't friends. He's just moved on and they ain't never getting divorced because he ain't dividing no damn assets and Scallywag ain't gonna know how much assets he has. So that's the Polly that I understand. And the first man that proposed Polly to me was in a position to take care of me just as well as he would number one. Then I wasn't attracted to him, so I said, yeah, no thanks. Then the second one that proposed it to me, he was cute. So I was willing to listen. Hung around for a while. That one right there, oh, y'all laughing at me. That one right there, I finally told him, I said, you ain't poly nothing. What you doing is pimping hoes. I said, because you ain't got the first one under control. And she talking about putting her car through the house because I'm here. So, and we both make more money than you. So you can keep this. I'm out. He came to where I was living the next day and said, well, she's not mad no more. So why are you mad? I said, I'm not mad. I'm simply moving on. He's like, well, why are you moving on? I said, because you don't remember what she said. She said, after you all are married, you could have however many you wanted. You're not married to her. So I was threatening her first position. And that's why she wanted to put her car through the house. That's why she wanted to fight.
Mm.
I'm a 50-year-old. I am not fighting no what? I didn't fight when I was young, especially over no man. I might have wanted to hit him upside the head with a bat, but I wasn't fighting no other woman.
Mm-mm.
So Miss Margaret, had he been Denzel, looking like Denzel, and had the money, would you been down with the poly?
I can't say. No, he was cute. Oh! I ran through my pictures the other day and I saw a picture of me and him together. But you know what's really funny? Um, this was before I found out about the brain tumor. I was investigating the brain tumor situation at the time. And he kept saying, it's nothing wrong with you. It's nothing wrong with you. And what I realized is that if there was something wrong with me, he wasn't going to be able to handle it. That's why my phone lost his number when I had my surgery.
Oh, the phone lost the number, huh?
Yep. Number was gone, gone, gone.
So wait, now I gotta follow up on that question that John asked. If the opportunity presented itself and things were in order, is that something you would have been down for? The whole poly relationship.
I do not know if I am totally opposed to it because I would have to see. Because, see, I was hanging out with him because he was cute. I have to put that on the front of it because the other one, I just wasn't attracted to him. But he could have taken care of me at the same level as the first one. Um, um, I just have to see how it played out because when he and I were together, she would be blowing his phone up and he would be, blowing her off. And I was like, that's rude. if you all have an understanding. I
So,
mean, we ran into his cousin where we were out. So it was going to get back to her. And she realized that he was grooming number two. And I think that's why she was going nuts.
so
So it would have to be,
doesn't
it would,
that when you're in a poly, are you not only with a man but with a woman too, right? Aren't y'all
I,
sharing?
see,
Everybody
yeah,
sharing?
yeah, I don't know about, this is what I'm saying. I was investigating to see what all the details were. No, no,
You
no,
was
no,
oh,
no.
you weren't gonna bump the coochies, huh?
No, no, we ain't, no, 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 no. And I didn't even know if I wanted sloppy seconds.
I know,
So,
right? Ew.
yeah, see, that's too much. I
Mm-mm.
mean, so like I said, I'm an experiential learner, okay? So I'm gonna play some stuff through to see how it works out. And if at any time I do not like where I am, what's going on, how I'm being talked to, or anything else, I can exit stage left because I can stand on my own 2 feet. My dad taught me how to stand on my own 2 feet no matter what the situation is. So
But you
I
was willing
never,
to come in for temporarily and have some fun with her husband and roll out.
no, 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 no. It wasn't that. It wasn't that at all. It was me seeing how their version of whatever it was going to play out, how it was going to, I'm going to say how it would feel on my skin. you know I was okay with getting close enough to find out if this was something I wanted to do. It's, to
So
me, it's
so
just,
so so what was the trigger that made you pull back, Miss Mark?
oh well, he told me he told me everything that she said. He told me that she said once they were married, he could have as many as he wanted. So I was spending the night at his house, and she pulled up. She pulled up probably because she had been blowing his phone up and he wasn't answering it because I was there. And so I'm laying down, and the dog is sitting in the chair and he's not in the room. I look at the dog and I said, "She's in the front, isn't she?" The dog said nothing. So then he comes back in the room and he sits down all nervous like. He said he didn't think he was going to get any sleep. I said, "Well, I don't think I should sleep. I think I should leave."
Now, Miss Margaret.
Hey, Miss Margaret.
Now,
Hey, would Jesus do that? Would Jesus have all these women? If Jesus wouldn't do that, I know y'all wouldn't want to do it, right, Miss Margaret?
Let's put it like this. Polyamory was part of the way that we lived at one time. We don't know. Jesus was absent from biblical text for a good number of years. So we don't
Mm.
know what Jesus did. I'm going to close my statement with that. All I'm going to say is I was threatening her first position. I recognized that. And I told him I wasn't fighting over him. He wasn't that much of a prize. Okay. So I told him, if you can't even protect me from the foolishness that you are creating, what in Sam hell do I need with you? He was like, well, she's not mad no more. I said, so every time she get mad, we gonna have to go through, boy, bye. And get off my front. Well, I told him.
Right. I don't know. It just seemed like a really toxic lifestyle. for me.
I don't
A
think
That's
lot
it's
too
of
much.
jealousy, a lot of envy. Ugh.
no, 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 no. People who are in those relationships don't have that. When the first position person is secure,
I don't think
meaning
God would accept that.
that's not true because there was, if you understand history, we
And,
had,
and
we,
you are right, Miss Margaret. You are absolutely right. Cause at one point in time, as a matter of fact, if you reference the Bible right now, it's going to say that as long as a man can afford two wives,
key
then
word,
he could have her. But most men can't afford two wives, so that's why they shouldn't have them. They got a problem taking care of one. How you gonna go out and try to have two and you can't take care of one?
okay?
Well,
So like I
I
said,
can afford five, but that's
like I
too
s-
much for me.
like I said, okay, that's too much for you, so you don't choose that lifestyle. So like I said, my uncle takes care of both of the women that he lives, both of the women that he has. My aunt still lives in her house, don't miss a beat. He comes over, takes care of whatever she needs done at her house. They don't like each other, so they don't choose to be together. And he ain't dividing up his stuff. So he ain't never gonna divorce her. And when he dies, his children will probably get everything. Scallywag won't get nothing because he don't even want Scallywag. I don't even know what the woman's name is. That's why the family calls her Scallywag. Um, I'm sorry. I'm just
Miss
telling the truth.
Margaret.
Y'all know how transparent I am. Y'all know how transparent I am. I That's
Miss
what they
Margaret
call.
called the lady Scallywag.
That's what everybody in the family calls her. I do not know what the woman's name is.
Where you get that name from, Morgan?
What you call a scallywag that just, and she ain't got pot to piss in or when to throw it out of. I don't know where he got her from.
Margaret is a mess.
And he
Oh
kind
my
of told
god.
me, but
So what about like transgenders? Like well, not transgender. Like if a woman wants to, date five women, three women, or men, even gays. Is that acceptable, or like how is that the same as dating a man dating three or four women at the same time?
well, dating, you can date multiple people, okay? It's at what level do you decide that you're going to become monogamous with one person? Okay, you can date as many people as you want. You date to find out who is ultimately going to be the person.
But some women can't handle that when you dating multiple
Well,
women.
then she needs to be very upfront with him that she only wants to date one person. And I'm very upfront. Um, I'm talking
I can tell.
to I'm talking to
Miss,
talking to.
Miss Margaret, I don't need you talking like that around Queen. You being a bad influence on love right now.
Well, no, I mean dating is okay. So let me define dating. Dating is going out, getting to know each other, doing activities together, learning about each other's culture, each other's life, each other's family. That's dating to me. Now, when you cross over into physical findings, then that needs to be when you have decided to be monogamous with somebody, in my book,
Yeah, I see what you're saying, Margaret. I agree.
you know, because you can't be putting, anyway.
I don't know because I think when you have 52 flavors, you get confused with all them tastes. So
What?
so you got to narrow it down to just one, and you
Listen to
start
what you
dating.
said. Narrow it down. Narrow it down.
No,
which means that
and get it to the one. I mean, you shouldn't even
Getting that
to me.
understanding.
To me, you get confused when you start even adding two or more.
Or maybe you can just be upfront with the women or the men and just let them know, hey, this is what I'm doing. You accept it. Let them make that choice.
that's where communication comes in, okay? Because there's one that's heavily pursuing, and he's heavily pursuing so that I don't have time to schedule anybody else in, you know? Um, but then you got the flybys, and look, you fly on by. The flyby, when I wasn't, seeing anybody, I'm gonna say frequently, flyby was fine for come go, let's go eat dinner, let's go do something. I've known flyby for a long time. But flyby is not interested in a one-on-one. Flyby texts me talking about some what you doing this weekend. Well, I said playing pocket pool. You got some money? Cause I'll take you to the table. And I think he's over there trying to unravel what that means.
Oh man, you
But
something else, Miss Margaret. You something else, I
listen,
tell you.
listen, listen.
Yes, she
And part of it,
is.
So, John,
let me
would
tell
you
you
date
something.
multiple women, John?
Tread lightly,
No,
John.
no, I like to focus.
I mean, everybody has their own method. There's more than one way to skin a cat.
John said,
So if your goal,
keep
I
it
mean, like when
clean,
I go on
John.
the dating site that I'm using now, as soon as they say two things, laid back, that means I ain't doing shit. Okay. Laid back means I ain't doing shit. No drama. That means you are accustomed to drama and you trying to run away from it. Um, uh, things like um if they too far away, I'm not interested because we ain't gonna see each other frequently because I don't drive, so I can't meet you somewhere. Okay. Um, what else? What else? What else?
So you saying long distance is out of the question, period.
Well, because it's out of the question for me now because I don't drive. And I honestly don't want to put the imposition on another person to hold up the transportation situation.
Hmm.
You know, um, there's one that if he's halfway to my house, then he'll call like he's doing some other business and he's halfway to my house, then he'll call on the spur of the moment. Hey, what you doing?
Well,
And I know
goddamn,
that
how
he's
many is it, Miss Margaret?
none of your business. I keep him on the
Margaret,
schedule. I keep
So,
him on the schedule.
Miss Margaret said, "I keep me one and
she
stay one now."
too. Her and Miss
I
Belinda.
listen, I just
Watch
started
y'all.
that. I just started that. I hadn't been so sick I hadn't been
He
dating
said none of
anybody,
your business.
you know. And that's the other thing. So I come with a whole lot of uh sometimes not understandable situations with my health because okay, I have a brain tumor. I don't have cancer, so I'm not taking cancer treatments, but the brain tumor will always be there because we're not digging any further. And
So what if
and
you? So if these health issues wasn't no problem, let's take those out.
okay.
And you was a little bit maybe younger, you didn't have no issues. Now, what
No,
would your circumstance situation be different? And maybe, would you date outside of the country, meaning that you had transportation, you're able to drive, and you're able to fly, you had all the money that you can have to fly, you can afford to fly in other countries, would you do that?
Oh, I had a passport, bro, before.
Mm.
Okay, so you are obligated, but at this moment of your life, you're not.
Oh, no, 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 no,
Miss
no, no.
Margaret says she
I
is
think I
living
can
her
still do
best
that.
life. She don't give
But
a
he is the
hoot
one who flaked out.
about what
He
none of y'all
came
got
all
to
the way here
say.
to the United States, but because he was a proud Nigerian man, he didn't follow my instructions. And because he didn't follow my instructions, he got deported and he could never come to the United States again. So I was going to where he lives, and then let's see, different things happened. COVID happened. A couple of other things happened, and now Mr. Proud Nigerian man doesn't even want to get married. And his father told me that. Let me tell you, his father told me. He said, this one here, he said, I wasted my money. His father told me. This one here, you watch him. He gonna tell you he gonna do a lot of things, and he's not. I said, oh shit, your dad is telling me. His dad is dead and gone now. And he talking about he was moving to Canada, he was doing this, he right there in Mauritius. He ain't going nowhere. He right there in Mauritius with his little bakery. I said,
Mm.
so no, I'm not opposed to going out of the country. Even the one that's pushing up tight, he's Asian. And I'm like, Mr. Asian guy trying to run the race. Okay. And we talked about that. We talked about, and what's funny was CJ ran a room the other day talking about he was going to get him an Asian woman because black women are too difficult to deal with. And so I told him that I was on Fanbase and there was a guy that ran a room like that. He says, "Oh yeah, there's a lot of men now that he said, especially black men that think Asian women are the way to go." I said, "Yeah, I know. Some of them think the Taiwanese women are good and da 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 da." He said, "Well, I don't know about all that." He said,
I don't discriminate, but I will pick my black woman first, though. That would be my first priority. But she got to be unvaccinated and a natural breed, meaning that can't be wearing, she have to have a real hair, red boot, all them shots in the booty and the breasts. I don't do all that.
"Right. I mean, listen, people can have their preference. I don't say that it's Burger King and you can have it your way all the time, but you should have your preferences." Like they
Yeah.
were dogging me out. Let me tell you what, they were dogging me out in CJ's room for saying, I don't want a man that has less than me. They were like, "Oh, now you want a rich man." I'm not rich, but I'm self-sustaining. Okay? I have a small business.
Well, they had a show about that earlier about broke men in 2026. Would you date a man that's broke? And they had a lot of discussion about that on fan base here.
Uh-huh.
About vice versa, where men were saying women that's broke, and men were saying, well, women were saying men that's broke. Would you date? Um, some women saying I won't date a broke man, and I was like, there's so many different levels of a broke man or a broke woman.
Right.
What put them in those situations to be broke, so that's just showing a lot of different things about them and managing their money, uh
Mm-hmm.
not really
What's the
getting
story?
their priorities in order.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of different levels of that, whenever they saying, because I wouldn't, for me, I'm a truck driver, so I ain't gonna date somebody that's making $20,000 a
Uh-huh.
year, so but not saying I won't, because the simple fact is, if she's that type of woman that's going to fulfill what I'm looking for and the needs and all that stuff, and that's just the only problem is just the money, So therefore, I can just take that my to that next level with her toward the up to inspire her, to uplift her, to toward that. Now she's that type of woman that's gonna make $100,000 a year or $200,000 a year at that mindset. Even though she's made 20,000 years before, if she's that type of woman that's gonna put some work into it, then yeah, I'll date a woman. I'll marry a woman like that that's making $20,000 a year.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this. You said some very key things: mindset and work with. Okay, I was a truck driver before I found out about the brain tumor. I don't know if you know that. I don't know if we've talked before. And before that, I was in corporate America and I always had high paying jobs.